Hello! Today we'll be taking a look at what's in this little box from BetaFPV, but just before we get into that, a quick reminder, please like or dislike this video if you didn't like it, comment down below, don't forget to subscribe, and if you can find that little bell icon, click on it and it might tell you when I'm uploading videos. What have we got here today? This is, despite all the reflections, I'm trying to see if I can get an angle like that, the BetaFPV VR02 FPV goggles. They are what they're calling a starter goggle. Pretty cheap sort of stuff, about $50, and this gets you a basic goggle to start your FPV with, so you don't have to pay multiple £100s for Fat Sharks or DJI goggles and stuff. Obviously you can't expect the same sort of quality. It's going to be a box goggle. There's things like, you know, you don't get DVI, you don't get diversity. In fact, it's a built-in antenna, which I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that, but let's crack open a box and see what's actually in there, because I've literally not got them out of the box yet, and you get a lot of packaging. So these are the main goggle units. As you can see, they're just sort of standard box goggles, not too heavy. If I put them against my face, that's not too bad as far as comfort goes. You can see there's nowhere to attach the antennas. The antenna is apparently built into the front here, but does that mean it's a linear or circular polarized or what? I'm guessing it's a linear. You've got USB-C type cable, an on-off switch, and you've just got 3 buttons. I think one's an up and one's a down and one's a S for scan. I haven't checked the instructions there yet, but I will do. You've got a couple of places here to thread the head strap on, which is of course going to go over the back of your head. That's about it. So obviously there's a built-in battery that we can charge with that USB-C. Elsewhere in the box you have this head strap, which seems pretty nice quality actually, not too bad at all. BetaFPV card, which shows you the QR codes for manuals and knowledge base and stuff. Also in this box we had a bunch of stickers and a key ring. Not quite the sort of main point you should be buying for, but it does exist. No actual instructions in the box. Well, let's get this charged up. We'll get the head strap fitted, make sure it fits my face nicely. I can't quite get there with glasses, so we'll see how the picture is without them, and then we'll see how this does. We'll take it for a fly inside the house, see how it does, see if there's any weakness, especially if you compare it with a more expensive module like Rapid Fire, and hopefully we can stick a camera inside to see if you can get a view, because what we don't have is any sort of DVR recorder from here. But yeah, let's get going. Well, here are the goggles. I've put the straps on, I've charged it up. There's a little LED indicator there. When it's on, it's charging. When it's off, it has charged. This is the power switch. If I just flick that, you should hopefully see that we have some stuff on the inside there. This actually, you can just see it there. It reflects down via a mirror, and you can just sometimes see that in the corner of your eye if you're not careful. So for me, can't wear them with glasses, not big enough. Face fit's fairly comfortable, not so comfortable here where it's got no padding. And the way this works is you've got the letter S here, which is the search function, and also brings up kind of the menu. This one does the channel, this one does the band. Let's see if I can actually turn on and film reasonably in here, and we'll see. Yeah, so there's a little menu. If I press the down arrow now, that goes through my bands, and if I press the other arrow, it goes and does the channels. And if I hold down that S button, it should do a search. Now there's these little color codes here. So green is basically less than 20% RSSI, as you'd expect. White is the strongest signal. You can see we've got like 23% is given it there, and there's obviously nothing on there, and that also means it's the current signal. So if you ever want to see what channel you're on, if you just do a little single press of that, that'll work. So why don't I try this, since I can just hold it there. I'll plug this little dude in, see what we get. I think we're on F1 with this. We might be on one of the R's, but it should hopefully show up. So we'll be able to do a quick scan there and see. Oh, you can see there's definitely something going on already. So here we are there. I'm going to hold an S to do the sweep, see what we get. Oh, that's cool. So we've got the different colours on it now. So what we get in this is green, as I said, less than 20% RSI. Yellow is 20 to 70%, and red is 70 to 99%. Now obviously in this sort of thing you've got the fact that, you know, the channel is quite close to other channels. Now this is actually on R7 by the looks of it, so R7 gets a nice red mark. It's getting a stronger signal here on E5, which is 5885. If I go to R7, what's that on? Oh, I've gone past it on. Go back to R5, 675,880, so it's like 5 hertz out. I can also see, if I'm looking around, the bottom looks good. It looks like some of the stuff is just cut off from the top. There's often an issue with different types of goggles that it cuts off like that. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to give it a quick fly to see how it feels, and basically I'll just have to report back on that. And then what I'm going to do is fly it again, and I'll film into these ones as I'm doing now, but hopefully a bit better, while I put some other goggles on and see how that works. Okay, apologies for phone footage. As you can see, I've got my goggles there, the camera pointing into it, so you can see what's going on. That's how I'm going to record it. Meantime, for this one, I'm going to fly with these guys. Now, I did just do a flight with this just around the house, and it was actually pretty good. Pretty good reception all in the house. I just went downstairs and I opened the back door, really try and push those, see what I can do, but I can't record it unless I do something weird like this. So let's try this out.
So I did a quick flight around the house, and you see I've got the Fat Shark DVR recording now, which has the rapid fire modules installed and 2 antennas, and I want to stress that because the results I got were really pretty impressive. As I said, I'd already taken it for a fly around the house just using the goggles, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. There is interference in the house. These sort of rapid lines you get here are definite like Wi-Fi on 5.8 interference. The rest is looking pretty good. In an open space, I think this would be pretty clean, and around the house here, looking pretty good. Now, if you think the colours are a bit weird on the screen, don't forget that we're filming a screen rather than just recording straight onto it. So going outside here, I expected the signal to cut off. I've tested some modules out, and going down this alleyway, everything is lost, the entire signal. And I look at this here and I'm like, this is pretty good. This is way beyond what I expected from a pair of $50 goggles with no visible antenna at all. Yeah, it really did shock me. I mean, it's not as good as the rapid fire, but I'm not expecting it to be. I'm saddened that I can't take this out to the field to test them, because I really think you'd get some reasonable range out of these. Of course, what you wouldn't have is all the things that I'd like to if I take a quad at range, and that's things like DVR recording. But for what they are, pair of beginner goggles, got to be impressed. Just flying them around the house like this, did a good job. Very impressed.
Well, I have to admit, I wasn't expecting too much for a sort of cheap starter pair of goggles, but these really did punch above their weight. Like I said, not amazing. It doesn't beat rapid fire, it doesn't have diversity, it doesn't have a DVR, but cheap and simple, and they certainly do the job. So a couple of minor niggles. You would have seen that my OSD layout needed a bit of adjustment, but that's just a case of adjusting in for the goggles. I could definitely see that reflection if I looked at it. Of course, if I concentrated in the middle of the screen, that was fine. You can't wear glasses with them, although I did find that being short-sighted, it was kind of like looking close to something as opposed to a regular goggle, where despite it only being this far away, it looks further away, so you need corrective lenses. So if you were long-sighted, you might have a problem using these if you didn't have any sort of corrective lenses in there. Handy that you're looking at an internal 2000 milliamp 1S battery. They say you should get about 2 hours out of it. Anything sort of an hour-ish seems fine to me. That's enough for a decent amount of batteries to put through. So yeah, when we can get to the field, we'll be back and I'll test them again, and we'll see what sort of range they could get. Although I do say that if you're going to be like flying further away and stuff, you probably want stuff like a DVR, so you can record where you are, and you kind of want diversity so you get the best. But let's see how well these will go from being the sort of beginner indoor quads. I'm flying the little UZ65. Of course, BetaFPV have a big range of quads that you can use indoors, so this is probably, perhaps they'll be bundling this stuff up and putting their controller in there as well. We'll see. Anyway, these have been the BetaFPV VR02 goggles, and were kindly supplied for review by BetaFPV, so many thanks to them. And of course, there'll be links down below if you want to check out in any more detail. Anyway, I hope that review's been helpful. We'll be back to do some more eventually, and in the meantime, I'll catch you next one. Bye for now.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.